What's up everyone, Jax here, and today I am with Toyota at Destination Outdoor, and I've got the 2022 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. Now for 2022, what is it exactly that sets the new Tacoma TRD Pro apart from its previous iterations? Well, the big thing is a factory installed lift kit. You can get a 1.1 inch lift in the front and a 0.5 inch lift in the rear. And as I will say out on the trail later on, it is definitely, absolutely worth it. In addition to that lift, you get revised Fox shocks as well as TRD designed upper control arms, making an already insanely capable truck even more so when the pavement ends. Those upper control arms are forged, and they come with Toyota's already insane off-road capability, featuring both mechanical and electronic aids. You have their four-wheel drive system with a locking rear differential. You have multi-terrain select along with crawl control. I mean, this thing was ridiculous. I put on crawl control and just creeped through an incredibly challenging part of the course. You know what, enough about this. Let's go to the drive portion because that's probably what you're the most interested in anyway. What's going on everyone, Jax here, driving the 2022 Electric Lime Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro, and I am about to take this thing off-road to do what God intended TRD Pros to do, and that's conquer the trails. I apologize for kind of taking a step down in driver kind of view quality here. I'm using my GoPro because I've got my fancy camera in the back seat for shooting B-roll and stuff while we're on the trail. So I'm using the GoPro also with the really wide angle. Hopefully you can see out the window so that when we get into the tough stuff, the view will be a little bit more impressive. Speaking of impressive, one of the most impressive things about this extremely capable off-road truck is how well it rides on the regular road. This thing is equipped with pretty much everything Toyota can throw at it, which means it has the new factory issued 1.1 inch front lift, 0.5 inch rear lift, retuned Fox shocks, uprated control arms, and all of the usual Toyota off-road goodies. So to say that this thing is made to tackle these types of trails is an understatement. But yesterday, we gave these things all they could handle and more. So I'm looking forward to attacking the same trails again behind the wheel of this TRD Pro. One thing I know people talk about in sort of the everyday drivability of this truck is the transmission, the 6-speed automatic. They lament the fact that it changes gears, hunts, some people say. Yeah, I get it, I guess, but to be honest with you, it hasn't really bothered me. I find it, you know, more irritating when it sort of refuses to upshift in a highway situation where I would like for it to downshift for power, and it refuses to downshift, I said upshift, downshift for power. Other than that, I don't really think it's that noticeable. I know the indestructible 5-speed in the 4Runner is sort of cherished, but then again, that's not really providing optimal thrust in some situations. It's just very bankable, reliable, and a known quantity. Another thing that I would point out is that for me, at around 6'6", the seats in the Tacoma are fine. They are comfortable. The butt and backrest are very comfortable, but they don't have a ton of lumbar, which is an issue for me because I have a messed up back. So I wish that you could control that a little bit more. For trail duty, where you're kind of bracing yourself against the car, you know, as you go over these crazy bumps and dips and rocks and crevasses, they're fine for that because, I mean, you know, what's gonna hold you into place? You gotta like brace against the steering wheel in the car, but just for everyday driving, they're a little flat in the butt and the backrest. Now, would either of those things put me off of buying a Tacoma? I mean, probably not, because I'm not gonna road trip in this thing, or if I am, it's to come do something like this. So it's kind of like, hey, that's the price you pay, you're going off-roading. I also think vehicles with the level of capability that this thing have get a little bit of a free pass on some comfort and convenience features. I mean, the fact that I'm wirelessly charging my phone, and I have heated seats, and I have this 8-inch infotainment display. It's Toyota's aging infotainment, but it's got that. It's got most of their safety features. I mean, there's not a lot to complain about in terms of livability, considering this thing is a world-ending apocalypse surviving type of vehicle. Another thing I'll say as far as drivability is concerned, the throttle, calibration sensitivity is just fine. It feels perfectly in tune when you're on-road or off-road, so I wouldn't really say anything positive or negative about that. It feels like a truck, and it feels like one that's very capable. The brakes, I actually feel like a little bit better since I had the Tacoma about a year and a half ago. I had the TRD off-road, and I felt like the brakes were a little overly grabby, which I've complained about on some Toyota products, and I don't really feel that way about these newer Toyota products. So I don't know if they made any changes there, but it could just be my imagination. It hasn't bothered me at all. The steering is still very slow, but something I did not appreciate, which some of you guys let me know when I reviewed the TRD off-road, because I said I am not a trucky off-road kind of guy, and I'm cutting my teeth here off-road in North Georgia for the first time ever, all right? I am popping my off-road cherry. That's an inappropriate reference. But I talked about how slow the steering was. It's almost comically slow because I enjoy driving sportier cars. And a lot of people pointed out, they're like, well, yeah, off-road, you don't want twitchy, fast steering. And I was like, well, that makes sense. So I have a new appreciation for that now. And considering the tires that this thing is riding on, it's pretty staggering that the ride is as good as it is. Now, we're on pretty billiard smooth roads. We have some great roads here in North Georgia, so that's something to keep in mind. The roads are very well maintained, but still, these are some highly aggressive tires, and they are not unpleasant at all. I will say this, I'm sorry it's a little bit dark because we are in the forest now, but having that extra ground clearance of the lift on this TRD Pro, I mean, it just makes this, relatively speaking, so darn easy. I mean, you see some of these rocks and some of these dips in the trail, and you just know that you've got clearance for it. Like, we're coming up to this big kind of crevasse in the trail, and I'm just gonna straddle it, just crawl right up it. The amazing thing is that SR5 Trail Edition in front of me is just bounding through this stuff with ease. If you haven't checked out my little preview on that, you should do so. But it is sandwiched in between my TRD Pro Tacoma and a 4Runner TRD Pro, and he is having no trouble keeping up. I'm bringing up the rear because I'm gonna be the safety car for this trip. But this is a lot of fun. I've also literally never done this before. Yesterday was the first time in my life I've ever done this kind of off-roading. Haven't wrecked yet. All right, we're approaching the most technical part of the trail. This is probably the hardest part, where there is some very deep ravines in the trail and a lot of kind of cross-body, what would you call it, actually? Because I don't do this often. The car tilts a lot back and forth across its body. That's my way of describing it. I don't know about you. Anyway, we've been instructed to be in 4-low and play with crawl control because that's what it's for. It's for these things to just dominate this type of terrain. So as soon as I get the go-ahead to proceed, I'll turn on the camera and try to talk you through it while I'm also trying not to crash. Should be noted on the 2022 TRD Pro, when you shift into low range, you get this multi-terrain view on your infotainment display. So I can see the truck in front of me as well as the sides of the truck. Pro is it gives you a really good view of areas that you can't see. Con is the resolution is about the same as a calculator. So there's good and bad here, but the important thing is that you can see. I also have the multi-terrain, or the crawl control, sorry, not multi-terrain. Making some interesting noises here. Okay, I don't really know what that is. Crawl control is making some strange noises. It scared me. Let's not do crawl control right now. We're getting instructions. I'm gonna have to watch the instructions while also sort of trying to narrate. Watching the trail go through. Now the trail is the sort of least capable, and that's saying something, because I mean, I made it through in the trail yesterday, so I'm watching someone else do it in the SR5 trail, and they're doing pretty good. That thing is a capable truck. All right, and away we go. See how we do. To the right, to the right, to the left. Let's try crawl control.
Okay, first, before we do that, let's go ahead and throw on your rear locker.
Okay, let's see, that's up here?
Yep.
All right.
Cool. And then that'll turn solid once it's engaged. So take it nice and easy until you see that turn solid, and go ahead and back up about 5 feet.
All right.
Okay, stop right there.
All right.
Right up here is crawl control.
Okay.
Turn that on. Your heads-up display should say crawl control's on.
Yep.
And let's try like speed 2.
All right.
And so you're gonna hear lots of noises.
Yep.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
And you're just focused on steering.
All right. And just let it go.
Yep.
Don't hit the phone.
Try not to hit the phone.
Try not to hit the phone. All right. Drive. There you go.
There we go.
Blooper reel.
That's it right there. Something else you want to try to back you up and do it again?
No, this is fun. How far am I from the phone? Can I cut that way?
I wouldn't start turning quite yet.
This crawl control's just amazing. Really? I can change it whenever I want. Here we go. We're gonna go to speed 3, and now it's gonna make me go faster. This is just like a Tesla, just like a Tesla. Just autonomous off-roading. Now, I don't wanna say that I didn't do much, but I didn't do much. This thing just took care of everything and got me through the most treacherous part of the trail, and I could have just had my eyes closed and they could have been calling out steering inputs. That's all it took. That was freaking awesome. So guys, basically through the hardest part of the trail, I mean, the rest of the trail is pretty treacherous, but like that was probably the hardest part. Oh, all the water's gone. I guess we're just going through sand now. This will be fun. Oh, wow, fun, sandy stuff going on there. But crawl control just takes care of everything for you, and you still have multi-terrain select and the rear diff locker to further enhance the capability of the Tacoma TRD Pro off-road, like when you're in this type of terrain. It's just a level of competence that is frankly insane. It's crazy that this thing can do this. It's the second time this thing has done it. In fact, it's the third time because a group went out earlier. And it's just devouring these trails. Keep in mind that people are going up and down these trails in vehicles with like 35, 37-inch like knobby tires. And we're going in bone stock pickup trucks with factory systems and lifts. So you're just like, you're always in good hands. That's the thing I would say about the TRD Pro is that like, you're in good hands. I don't know how well you can see on the GoPro, but is now a good time to mention that I don't particularly like heights. And yeah, we're in the part of the trail now. We did this yesterday where the trail is a bit narrower. There's bumps like that. and they're pitching you to the side where there's not a lot of edge. And you have to really put it out of your mind and focus on the trail and be like, I trust you, TRD, that you made such an epic product that I will not be catapulted into the abyss. It's a bit melodramatic, but that's how it feels in my head. Every single obstacle that we come to, like this little rock patch that we're in right now, I feel like Bill Paxton when he dies in the movie Aliens, and he's just like taunting them. You know that scene? Oh, you want some of that? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's how I feel right now. Oh, Rock, you think you're gonna stop me? Oh, you want some of this? Oh, hey, giant dip, giant hole, you want some of this? My Tacoma laughs at you. I don't laugh at you. You look dangerous, but the Tacoma laughs at you. Tacoma ain't scared. Tacoma don't care.
Honey Badger don't care.
So should you buy a 2022 Tacoma? Well, if you've never had a Tacoma and you're thinking about buying into the brand, it definitely makes a compelling case for itself. Now this is just a preview, but I was behind the wheel quite a bit. And I would say if you're looking at doing some serious off-roading with a truck that you can absolutely depend on, you should definitely give the Tacoma TRD Pro a look. This thing is virtually indestructible, and its iterative, continuous improvements over time have resulted in a nearly perfect light-duty truck. Is it actually perfect? No, it still has a pretty plasticky interior. It's got some good options, but the powertrain is just powerful enough, and the 6-speed automatic hunts around a bit. I didn't find it very offensive, but apparently some Toyota fanboys do. But all in all, this thing is much, much greater than the sum of its parts, and I've had an absolute blast driving it here at Destination Outdoor. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Ride safe, drive safe. I will see you in the next video. Peace. And I've got the... And I forgot what I was gonna say. I know, right? Once you mess up once, it's like, it's all downhill from there. Yeah. Every single obstacle that we come to, like this big...
Watch says I achieved my exercise goal. That's the